Alright. As promised, ladies and gentlemen, we are the book of Numbers. We have the first part here really talking about organization. So we laid the foundations in Leviticus. We've been talking about, we've been sanctifying things, laying the moral foundations, laying the foundation of religion itself in Leviticus. And now we're getting to the organization of the peoples. So they're getting ready to move into the Canaanite land, from what I'm suspecting just by these first few chapters. They're getting ready to move into the Canaanite land, and they're getting organized. They're counting up all their men over the age of 20 and seeing how many in number they have become over these last few years. And we're going to go ahead and clarify again the amount of time they spent in the desert of Sinai. I did misspeak in my last 2 videos or so. So let's go ahead and start with a quote. I forgot my little book over here. Alright, let's go ahead and start. I have the kitty on the lap per usual, so it's a little hard to maneuver. There we go. So the randomized quote for this section is: "Riches are a good handmaid, but the worst mistress." Okay, and this is similar to talking about the handmaid theory, right? All good moral philosophy is but a handmaid to religion. We remember that one from the end of Leviticus. This one is saying, riches are a good handmaid, but the worst mistress. So again, this is from De Dignitate et Augmentis Sanitarium 1, Volume 3. This is from Anatheta, circa 640, T.R. Gilbert Watts. So again, I have no idea what I'm always the worst at annotations. Do we have to do that? Not annotations. Right, we had to have the sources and credits. I was not the best at that. They always have tools to use. Anyways, not the best at the quotes here. But anyways, riches are a good handmaid, but the worst mistress makes me think of riches are good, helpful, subservience. If we're talking in the term of a handmaid, they're good subservient tools to use to help you maneuver and get through life at certain times. Mistress, I guess if we look up a definition of mistress, a woman in position of authority and control. So that makes sense. This is literally the definition. I wasn't expecting that, but yes, the first noun definition is a woman in position of authority or control. Riches are the worst in their worst form if it possesses or controls somebody or has an authority over somebody or someone. So we think about the Israelites at this time. They're in the desert of Sinai, right? They have their possessions and their gatherings, but if they had many material possessions and gatherings and things like that, it would only slow them down, which is a good thing that they had really accumulated all the gold and all the fine linens and fine materials they had in the form of riches. It was good that that all went towards the tabernacle and the temple, and they have a method of deconstructing it and putting it back up and taking care of it accordingly, which we will soon learn about. So it's not slowing them down when moving into a nation, preparing for battle, that sort of thing. I don't know if they'll actually be fighting, and having battles and wars. I honestly forget, but we'll see. We'll go ahead and read what this is going to be like. But if their riches and material possessions were controlling them, which we now know, we do know that they're not, that would be not a good thing, right, for them. But of course it helps to have maybe strength in numbers, right? Having strength in manpower, those kind of riches and wealth is going to be very, very crucial for them at this time. So let's go ahead and begin and learn to see how the Israelites are taking up this task of organization and how the Lord is instructing them to do so. We begin with chapter 1. The Lord spoke to Moses in the tent of meeting in the desert of Sinai on the first day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year after the Israelites came out of Egypt. So real quick, I did say it seems like they've been in the desert for quite a while. So they're year 2 of the second year, first day of the second month. So yeah, they're well into year 2 in the desert. I said maybe it was something like 7 years, but when I was speaking of the Sabbath year, these 7-year holidays, those were going to be established later after they had fully settled, from what I can perceive with the context. So let's go ahead and continue. You and Aaron are to count according to their divisions all the men in Israel who are 20 years older or more and able to serve in the army. These are the names who are to assist you. From Judah, Nahshon son of Amminadab. So real quick, there is a list from each of the tribes of Jacob, right? We had 12 sons under Jacob, and each of them had their own tribe and family, just expansion, right? So God is going through, and he's like, these are going to be the heads of each family that are going to assist you in gathering everybody and counting everybody up, all men over the age of 20. So we don't go through the whole list of all the 12, but we just see here Judah, from the tribe of Judah, it's Nahshon, son of Amminadab. So Moses, continuing, Moses and Aaron took these men whose names had been specified, and they called the whole community together on the first day of the second month. The people registered by their clans and families, and the men 20 years older or more were listed by name, one by one. So again, we're not going to go through each of the tribes, but of course, if you want to go into Numbers and look to see what each of them were, you can go ahead and check. But again, we're just going to go over Judah. It says the number from the tribe of Judah was 74,600. The number from the tribe of Benjamin was 35,400. So if you do look and compare, the tribe of Judah was the largest tribe, 74,000 people that came from the line of Jacob, and then Judah, 74,000 people under Judah's name, which is wild, right? It's a lot of people for one family, but it's, descendants. They were still multiplying quite a lot. And then, of course, we have the tribe of Benjamin. Benjamin, I believe, was the youngest one, right? After Moses, right? After Moses, I want to say there was another younger one too, but Benjamin was one of the younger brothers of the tribe of Jacob. He had a tribe of 35,400. Each of the tribes of Jacob were somewhere in between this 74,000 and like 20 or so thousand people. It says the ancestral tribe of the Levites, however, was not counted along with the others. He said, instead, appoint the Levites to be in charge of the tabernacle of the covenant of the covenant law, over all its furnishings and everything belonging to it. They are to carry the tabernacle and all its furnishings. They are to take care of it and encamp around it. So again, the Levites, which was the tribe of Moses and Aaron, under Levi, but Moses and Aaron were a part of the Levite tribe. They were appointed this special task of taking care of the tabernacle. So we did know that Aaron's sons were in charge. Aaron was the head priest, and his sons were in charge of performing these sacrificial offerings and things like that. So they had this duty within their family. So all of the tribe of Levites, the whole tribe of the Levites, were actually going to take care of the tabernacle together, especially since Aaron lost his two sons who were helping him in the temple, or the tent, right? Not a temple yet, but yes. So yes, another big thing there. Levites all towards the church, and this is what I was speaking about before, how maybe people descending from the line of Levite, whether by blood or by spirit, genealogy, whatever you have, they are more inclined to just become priests. Sometimes we know pastors and priests who just become priests. It doesn't really, maybe their father was or was not a priest, or it just doesn't seem like it would be their path, but they just become priests. They're called to become priests. And again, it is probably most likely in line with having some sort of spiritual or blood connection to the Levite tribe, which is, of course, the same as Moses and Aaron and Levi, right? The brother Levi. Anyways, let us continue. On the east, towards the sunrise, the divisions of the camp of Judah are to camp under their standard. The leader of the people of Judah is Nahshon, son of Amminadab. The tribe of Zebulun, who would be next. The leader of the people of Zebulun is Eliab, son of Helon. The tent of meeting in the camp of the Levites will set out in the middle of the camps. They will set out in the same order as they encamp, each in their own place under their standard. The tribe of Asher will camp next to them. The leader of the people of Asher is Pagiel, son of Okran. The Lord said to Moses, "Bring the tribe of Levi and present them to Aaron the priest to assist him. They are to perform duties for him and for the whole community at the tent of meeting by doing the work of the tabernacle." Real quick, we just start learning here how they are organized in the camp. And he's saying you are to be organized in this way because the way that you live and camp is the way that you'll move into the town. You'll set out in the same order. So, again, we're not really fully understanding the method to his madness, but if you do read in detail the entire chapter 2 here, it will clearly describe, where each tribe is located and all that stuff. We didn't go through everyone, but just so you get an idea of what's going on. But yes, it's really very interesting. Real quick, again, tribe of Levi is taking care of the tabernacle, and these were the names of the sons of Levi, which may sound familiar. We have Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. To Kohath belong the clans of the Amorites, just doing this, Amorites, Israelites, Ebronites, and Uzzielites. These were the Kohathite Kohathite clans. The Merarites were appointed to take care of the frames of the tabernacle, its crossbars, posts, bases, all its equipment, and everything related to their use, as well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard and their bases, tent pegs, and ropes. The Lord also said to Moses, "Take the Levites in place of all the firstborn of Israel, and livestock of the Levites in place of their livestock. The Levites are to be mine. I am the Lord. To redeem the 273 firstborn Israelites who exceeded the number of Levites, collect 5 shekels for each one, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs." So aren't you glad that we had some sort of clarification and context when talking about the price per person, right? It sounds weird, like what are they doing with like putting a price on people? This is why, because previously, remember, we talked about, yes, the first animal, right, was to be for God, for the church, used for sacrifices, whatever. Also, the firstborn son was also to serve the church and be belonging to God of every tribe, not just the Levites. But now here in chapter 3 of Numbers, we are discussing that it will just be all of the Levites in place of everyone else. So all the Levites' animals and everybody in the Levite tribe who is able to serve will go ahead and serve. So, crazy enough, I might have to get my Bible real quick because I kind of forget. I think it was 20,273 Levites all together, and it equaled pretty much every firstborn male among each tribe and family was around 20,000. And since the Levites were around 20,273, the extra Levites, each of the other people had to gather together 273 sanctuary shekels, or 5 per 273 people, gather in money in place of their service. So it's kind of like, it's glad that we discussed what the cost was compared to service. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds confusing, like what are they doing? But it makes a lot of sense. So all the Levites servicing the church, all the extra Levites, we're just going to take some money instead in the place of the people that can make up the number of Levites, right? So, yeah, that is it. So they're not going to be doing a lot of the battling and the army tasks, right? They're going to be actually taking care of the tabernacle, moving it, We learned Merari was the one who's going to, the tribe of Merari was going to take all the tent pegs and everything, the tent, everything like that, and carry it. So yes, they have a very important task, right? But it's going to be a little bit different from everybody else. Interesting, right? Very interesting to hear about how this was all organized and established, and we're definitely getting into the nitty-gritty. I can sense some action coming, so we'll see when that tipping point is. Thank you all for listening. I'm going to start some lunch because I am famished, just famished. Have a great rest of your day, and happy New Year's and happy Friday. All right, bye-bye.